So, Bill Apter,
Yes, sir.
you've been in this business longer than probably anybody alive, right?
1970 I started, actually.
Dude, I started in 1970.
That was you?
Well, I'm saying
I had no idea.
I started living in 1970.
I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. So I was out there with my
Started.
camera and writing.
Started.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go back to, but who? I don't want to argue.
Don't want to
about,
do
you
that.
know,
We don't want to
That's
argue.
not gonna. That's one of those issues.
We don't want to argue. We're not here to argue.
Where and point does life begin? And is
Exactly.
abortion wrong? And can you say that on here? You're not going to
yeah,
censor
you can
that.
say
right?
that.
Okay,
right.
cool. But we don't want to talk about
It's
that.
the F word.
It's a gross word. Oh, but we can say the whole effing show?
Yes, that's
All right,
fine.
so speaking of, tell me about the first match you had with the whole effing show, the current X-Division TNA champion, Rob Van Dam.
Well, as people out there...
'Cause he's a legend.
He is.
Probably
And-
stands out as one of your favorite matches.
Well, actually, people that know from the years that I've been in the wrestling business,
Which is
when
many,
is many, that I always point to a certain like
70,
top 5.
80,
Yeah, but
90,
I always point to
2010.
I always point to like a top 5, and you were always in my top 5 since you started working, of course, not before that. But
Hey, thank you.
I always admired.
You know what I just did? I counted like from 1970 to now to figure out how many years you've been in the business.
Yeah.
And I could have just figured out how old I am since I was born.
He could have done that. He
Shortcutted
could have done that. Figure that out on
Yeah,
your
but top
calculator.
5, I take that as a hell
So
of a
one
compliment
day-
because you know everybody. And
Everybody.
You probably started some careers. Probably.
I did. I helped a lot of people get
Absolutely.
into this business. But
Of course.
your question, the match against RVD.
Please.
As people know, there is a championship that I started many years ago back at the magazines called COW. COW stands for Championship Office Wrestling. And when people used to come up to the office, I used to jump them and surprise them, and they had to wrestle me. And RVD came up one day with Sabu and Bill Alfonso, and I attacked him. And he went crazy, and he said, "You want to..."
He meaning
You. He went crazy. He went insane. I'd never seen anything like this. And he said to me, "You want to show somebody this videotape? Film it." And somebody hit the film button, the tape button, and this guy put a chair, he knocked me down, put a chair on me, and came off with a leg drop right onto my throat. For weeks I was talking like this. But he didn't win the belt because Scotty Riggs was there and did a run-in and hit him with the old Memphis hand chain.
the aches and pains of being a top baby face.
Really? Now I want to ask you something.
Oh, okay, here.
Let's switch over. Bill Apter now for OneWrestling.com with RVD, the current X-Division champion.
I know how it goes.
I know you do.
Okay.
I know you do.
Okay.
So first of all, you being in TNA, you've got a lot of top competitors for the X-Division title. One of the competitors who the fans are just starting to really look at now as a top competitor is Kenny King. Tell us a little about Kenny King.
To be honest with you,
Don't lie.
Wild
Don't
Bill
lie.
Hickok. Hey, I always say that when people say to be
You
honest.
do, you do.
Yeah, I
You
do. I didn't even know who he was the first time I wrestled him, which
Yeah.
was very recently.
Yes, yes.
At the pay-per-view.
Depending upon when you're watching this, of course.
Well-
If you're watching this in 2015, then it was several years ago.
Your material has
Hasn't
a
changed.
shelf life for infinity. You know what I mean? It's not dated. You could pick up a 1990 PWI by Bill Apter right now. And
Well, me and the other
holds
people,
its value.
I was just part of that. I was a little part of it.
Oh.
But I was on TV. People knew who I was.
Oh.
Anyway, getting back to Kenny.
Okay, so I don't know. I'm out in the car where I call it my East Coast office because that's where I spend most of my
remember that.
time when I'm
Yeah.
at the Universal Studios, and I'm scrolling through my Twitter, and people were saying, "Hey, at the real RVD, good luck with your match tonight against at Kenny Kingpin," something like that, you
Yeah.
know. And I didn't even know who it was or
You're like,
whatever.
who?
Yeah, I went inside because I had to pee because I
Yeah.
can't pee outside in the
Right.
parking lot.
We can say that on here, by the way.
Okay, good, because you'd be surprised.
Go right ahead,
not
go right
seeing-
ahead.
He cuts half my
Stuff out, yeah.
Okay. And I came inside and I saw AJ, and AJ says, "Hey, who you got tonight? Who you got tonight?" And I said, "Kenny Kingpin." And he was like, "Who?" I go, "I don't know. I saw him. So I went up, but before I got to the match, actually, I felt the energy, and everyone had like really high expectations.
Yeah.
They all knew him.
Yeah.
I didn't know him, but everyone else knew him, and they were like, "Hey, man, you know, you got to be able to. This is going to be a great match, you know." And they were like, "Hey, you know, this is going to be a good opponent for you, man. He's got size, he's got moves and speed. You know, it should be a really good match." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't even know who he was.
Right.
Okay, so we had the match, and I don't know if it was up to everybody's expectations or not.
It was. I saw it.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, thank you.
Yeah. It was incredible.
And your expectations were?
Were a top-notch RVD match.
Whoa.
And to do that, you need, just like any fighter would need a great opponent to give him a great fight, you need an opponent that can give RVD a good fight.
So,
and he turned out to be one of those.
Well, cool, because it seems like he's going to be around for a while, because he's always in my face still and
Let's
stuff.
talk about some of your other contenders, because I know your match is up probably next here at the Tower Theater in Philadelphia. Kid
Let
Cash.
brother get a stretch on.
Really, Kid Cash is still after your title.
Yeah, and I like wrestling Kid Cash. You know, he's one of my friends and a long time friend, but also he's also a very good wrestler. And you know, I've been wrestling a lot of guys recently that I've never wrestled before, like Christian York and the greasy sleazy dude and Ion. Yeah, man, it seems to be my place in the business right now is to try to school all these guys that basically grew up watching Rob Van Dam. I mean,
it's true.
I mean,
but you have. I'm going to tell you something. There are a lot of guys that started back in your time that have lost a step or two. You really haven't. I still enjoy watching your matches. So, high five for RVD. This is wonderful, Willie. You still can challenge for the title. I still have the cow belt.
Oh, you heard.
But not here tonight.
Heard it.
Not here tonight. But it will happen. We'll see you at the matches.
Wonderful Willie and RobVanDam.com.
I like that. I like that. We got our own website.
What?
That's good.
Oh, all right, cool.